Good morning, everybody. It's another day of car shopping. Alright guys, so yesterday me and my brother drove around to a lot of places, looked at a lot of cars, and after doing that I kind of picked out this one here. This is a 2007 Mazda 3, and it's a nice car. It drives real great and everything, but there's just a few things about it that I'm just not, they're not giving me that warm and fuzzy feeling inside. So I am taking it back this morning. The dealership let me drive it home last night to kind of mull it over, because I was just really, you know, yesterday I liked the car, but I wasn't like 100% sure on it, and they wanted to make sure that I truly wanted the car, so they went ahead and said, go ahead and drive it home. You know, see how it looks in the driveway, sleep on it, you know, that way you can really make a good decision and not, you know, jump into anything, feel like you're jumping into anything. And I gotta say, as far as my sales experience, the dealership that I was at yesterday, that I picked this car from was Jim Butler Chevrolet, or no, not Jim Butler Chevrolet, it's Jim Butler Mitsubishi, I believe, on South Lindbergh Boulevard there in St. Louis. And I was dealing with the actual sales manager, Tom Smith, and Tom's a really great guy. I felt like I was just, you know, talking to an old buddy about cars, and you know, he was really straightforward with what he had to offer me. You know, I went to the dealership. I've already done my legwork as far as financing and all that goes. I know what I'm approved for, and I know what I want to spend, and Tom didn't waste my time. You know, he a lot of times you go to these dealerships and you get this whole smoke and mirrors, dog and pony show where they, you know, they want to try to keep you there as long as they can and grind you down and just, you know, until you buy a car. Well, I didn't get that there, you know. I mean, he was really cool with everything, and I'm going to go back and see what they got on the lot. See if something else maybe fits what I want, or, you know, is a little bit a better car for me. So, if you guys are looking for a car, that's definitely a place I would recommend to go, because I was really happy with the service I got there, and the, you know, the respect. And the thing is, you know, I've gone car shopping a lot, and I used to work in the car business, and I know all the tricks and all the little things they do to try to, you know, smooze you over to get you to buy a car. And I didn't get any of that there, you know. They were just, it was cool, because I came in basically and I said, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking to spend, what do you have? And he said, well, we got this right here, and this right here, and this right here. And, you know, he didn't dick around and waste my time and say, oh, well, let's walk around and see if anything catches your eye and blah, blah, blah. You know, it was just, it was good. So I really appreciate the time that he took yesterday with me. And I do feel like a little bit bad about not buying the car, because, you know, they were so cool, and that's really hard to find in a dealership. So I don't know, we'll see what happens today, see what else I'm gonna be looking at, and we'll go from there. Alright, so since we're on the subject of St. Louis area car dealerships, I figured I would go ahead and mention a few that I visited and or dealt with on the phone, and what I thought of them. The first one, like I said, Jim Butler there on South Lindbergh, awesome. Couldn't have been happier with my experience there. Suntrup Volkswagen. Yeah, do not go to this dealership. These guys are, my parents have had dealings with them in the past, and they've been really shady. And I went in because I'm looking for a car, and you know, that was a couple years ago. Hopefully things have changed, kind of thing. And the salesman came out and greeted me, yada yada. You know, I said, well, this is what I got to spend, this is what I'm looking for. And he said, well, I've got a 99 Volkswagen Beetle that's a really low price, and it's only got 40,000 miles on it. And I'm like, wow, 40,000 miles on a 99? That's pretty cheap. Or that's not very many miles. So I'm figuring, you know, this is going to be a cream puff, right? Well, it was a cream puff, all right. It had all kinds of dings and scratches all over the bumpers. It looked like whoever had driven it, it's probably some old folks, and they just like scraped the corners off all the bumpers. And then of course it had a little sign on the dash that said do not drive, no coolant. So the salesman tries to tell me that they're just changing all the fluids right now. Really, like they don't stock coolant at a car dealership in the shop there. You know, it's just like, come on, dude. I wasn't born yesterday. You know, obviously either the radiator's out of it or they're doing something with the cooling system that's a little more involved than just changing it. Because I was a mechanic for a while, and usually when you park a car out in the shop like that and put a sign on it, that means that there's some critical part missing off the car. So, you know, I couldn't even drive the car yet, but I figured let's talk, you know, let's talk price, and if the price is right, and you know, I'll come back and drive the car, and we'll make a deal. Well, you know, he sits down and he wants all my information, and he wants me to fill out this credit app and all this and that, and the guy's like, all right, so if we can do the car for this price, you'll buy it today. And he's got this contract, and he wants me to sign it, and I'm like, no, I want to drive the car first, you know. And he's like, but if we can do it for this price, and blah blah blah, pending a test drive, you'll buy it today. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like, I'm not signing shit until I drive the car. I'm not doing it. Not even negotiating, you know, because it's like. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So the guy was just super high, trying to pressure me big time, and I was just having none of that. And so I just got up and left. So like I said, Suntrup, friggin' dickholes. Do not go there. They are ridiculous. They totally dicked over my parents and my brother. They both went in and bought a car at the exact same time at the Hyundai dealership a few years back. Just, they're son of a bitches. Just don't go there. Let's see, where else did I stop? I was at the Offenburg Auto Mall over in O'Fallon, Illinois. I don't know how the rest of the dealership is, but the one guy who came out to talk to me, you know, they had an element that you could see from the highway, so that's why we stopped. I wanted to see how much they were asking on it. Well, first off, from the highway, the car looked great. I got up to it, though. The element has these, like, plastic body panels on the sides. It looks like they had waxed the body panels, and if you guys have ever had a car where you have, like, that textured plastic trim anywhere, you know if you get wax on that, you're done. It's not coming off. It's there permanently. On top of that, it looked like it had some really shady bodywork on it. This was from like looking at it for like 30 seconds. I spotted all this stuff, you know. And this guy comes out, and I can't stand it when people do not speak clearly, especially when you're dealing with the public. And the guy comes out, he's like, "Yeah, man, what you looking for, man?" You know, and I'm like, "Oh, friggin'. For cigarette sakes, somebody else please come out and help me. I can't freaking deal with freaking Mr. Mumbles over here." And, you know, I said, well, I'm wanting to know what you're asking on this element, because I know what the elements are going for. In Missouri here, 2 or 3 year old element's going for between 12 and 15,000, depending on miles and the model and any options. So I knew that's kind of a range, right? So This is an 07 or 08 Element, and they got it listed at like $20,000, which right off the bat, they're way high on the price, way high. And I don't know if they're listing it that way, thinking, well, if we get a sucker, he'll pay $20,000. Anybody else that knows their shit, they'll maybe try to talk us down, and we can make them feel like we gave them a huge deal, right? And I was like, oh, that's way too much. I said, I can't afford $20,000, and that's, you know, regardless of it being overpriced, I couldn't afford that anyway. And he's like, oh, okay, well, let's go over to the Econo lot then, and we'll see what we got over there. And I was like, well, I know what I'm looking for. I said, I'm looking for either an Element, an Outback, or, you know, some sort of station wagon or small SUV, right? And the guy's like, well, let's just go over there and we'll see what you got. And I'm like, holy frick, man. So I kind of glanced over that direction. There was another Element over there, so I figured, oh, let's go see how much, you know, let's see how much this one's going to be. And so we walked over, and he's like, oh, this one, 10.5, man. And I'm like, okay, well, that's a better price, you know. And it was an 03, which that's fine with me. I don't care. That's actually about right on the price. It's still a little smidgen high on the price, but, you know, what are you going to do? It's a negotiation. That's how it works with the car game and all that. So So the guy walks away to get the key, and I just looked at the outside of the car, kind of looked under to see if it was the all-wheel drive or front-wheel drive, and I go to look inside of it. This thing was trashed. Like, it looked like whoever drove it before, I guess it hadn't been through the detail shop yet, and he was like whoever friggin' traded this car in, it looks like they took the trash out of their kitchen the day before they brought the car to the dealership and just emptied it in the floor and then kicked it all around. Like, it was that friggin' trashed inside. And I looked at my brother and I was like, this thing is freaking trashed, and this guy is a Mr. Mumbles. I'm like, I'm not dealing with this the rest of the day. So we just freaking left, and we get like halfway across the parking lot and we hear, hey, man, you know, and this guy's like running across the parking lot trying to catch up to us, you know. And me and my brother like, let's walk faster. So we freaking got in his car and left. But so that was my dealings with Offenburg Auto Mall. I was, you know, like, Offenburg people, if you're watching this, that Mr. Mumbles guy, freaking get rid of him. He's nobody likes talking to somebody like that. And on top of that, he was very kind of disrespectful. Like, you know, kind of gives me this look like, oh, you can't afford a $20,000 car. Well, I don't know if I want to waste my time with you, you know. So I'm just like, whatever, dude, whatever. So let's see, where else did we stop? We stopped at a little lot in House Springs. That guy was pretty cool. Let us drive the car. It was a Legacy wagon. Nice car. It was just not for me. That one had a couple things wrong with it that I didn't want to deal with. But yeah, so wherever we go today, I'll let you guys know how the dealership was and if you should take your business to them. So, all right.